Today I'm speaking to the academic vice rector of the University of Mondragon, John Altuna, who's joining us here at the UNICA conference in Copenhagen. And good morning and pleased to meet you. I think that also kind of following what we just heard about now at the keynote, an opening keynote, I would like to start off by asking you what you see as the key trends in higher education today, perhaps both in Spain, but also on a more European or global level, and how you see your own university as an attempt to respond to that, really.
Mm-hmm. Right. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, let me just start saying, that we conceive that the context within the world, and probably due to the relationships that we now have with Asia and South Africa, the context for universities is probably different. Okay, it's different in Spain, it's different in the Basque region, it's different in Europe, Asia and America. And I think universities need to respond to the global trends and challenges, but in particular our university project was conceived and was created to respond basically to the local demands. And I could say that nowadays our society faces like a very particular challenge, which is due to the demographic downfall of our region. The Basque region is one of the oldest regions in Europe and in the world. And I think that our university will probably need to respond, and that factor will probably be one of the main factors that our university will have to respond in the next years. The other trend and challenge, I think, and that's quite global, it's the changing landscape and the complexity of the world. Okay, and that I think quite marks all our activities, starting from the deregulation of the labor market, the emergence of new professions that changes everything from education to research. So I would stop, I think, in saying that.
Mm-hmm. If you go and kind of look at the university and the way it's established, you mentioned kind of three values or purposes that the university has. One is that of social vocation, one is practical orientation, and that is kind of adapting to the needs of organizations and businesses in the local area, and then commitment to research through networking, also with organizations. So, but I think that, and that's interesting to me that it's also in that particular order, which is a little bit different from what we see elsewhere, where research is always kind of the first one and the other follows. But you have established your university as a cooperative. Can you tell me how that functions in practice and how that responds to those challenges that you were mentioning?
Right. Yeah, I think the history of our university is a history of reinvention. You know, it has to be said that Mondragon University, as a cooperative university, is a very young university. It was created in 1997 due to a change in the Spanish law, which allowed to create private universities. Okay, but the origin of the first primary cooperative colleges, the Faculty of Engineering, the Faculty of Business Studies, and the Faculty of Education, goes back to the 50s, 60s, 70s. Okay. And I think those cooperatives were responding to the needs of the society in the 50s, 60s, and 70s, very much with the development of the cooperatives. In fact, the fact that in 1997 Mondragon cooperatives decided to create Mondragon University responds to the need in the 90s to respond to that trend of the knowledge economy, as we just heard in the opening keynote.
Can you explicate that?
Yeah, I mean, in fact, the cooperative ecosystem in Mondragon thought that the colleges, the previous cooperative colleges, had to make a step forward in creating knowledge and generating research and PhDs. So our former status, we were attached to public universities in Spain, and the fact that we had to have our own private cooperative university allowed us to create master courses, PhD degrees, and conceive a whole bunch of research groups responding to the needs of society. So there was like a very deliberate strategy to create one own cooperative university responding to those needs. Mm-hmm.
How do you see the cooperative university? I mean, it's radically quite different way of organizing a university from what we see mostly. I mean, I don't really know of many of other universities organized like that. What do you see as the benefits and challenges of that? And can you perhaps explicate a little bit what it means to be a cooperative university?
Right. Well, the whole concept of a cooperative university is being built. As I said, it's quite new. I mean, we were created in 1997, and nowadays the structure, the legal structure of the university is that we are a very distributed and self-managed university, in the sense that our three faculties, or the original three faculties, are primary cooperatives, independent and totally autonomous. Okay. And these three cooperatives are now joined in a second degree cooperative, which is Mondragon University. Okay, so the governance model of the university is a laboratory, it's an experiment. Okay, even when Mondragon University was created as a cooperative, when the three cooperatives, primary cooperatives, decided to create Mondragon University, there was a discussion whether we had to integrate in a single cooperative altogether, or we had to maintain the essence of the primary cooperatives. Okay, nowadays our experience says that it was, I think, successful, the fact that we decided to maintain the independence and autonomy of each of the primary cooperatives. So how does the cooperative university function? Each primary cooperative, each faculty has a general assembly, which is the maximum decision body in the cooperative, and it's built in equal terms by three types of members, which are worker owners. We worker owners are workers of the cooperative and owners of the cooperative. We have a capital in the cooperative. There is the student members. Students have exactly the same decision power as worker owners. And then we have collaborator members, which are company representatives and public institutions as well. So it's like, it's a very open cooperative, not just composed by worker members, but also user members, students, and external members. Okay. So that's the composition of one single cooperative, okay, and then there is like the General Assembly is the main decision body of the university, and then the General Assembly delegates on the governing body, which has the same constitution but in a reduced number for students, for worker members, and for collaborating members, supervising the everyday operations of the cooperative. And then the governing council appoints a general manager, which is the dean of the faculty. Okay, so that's how the cooperative is created.
Mm. How do you see this the cooperative organizational form? What kind of problems is that responding to?
Right. Mm. Well. It is responding, I think, it is responding to the basic principles of the cooperative in terms of cooperation, participation, democracy, innovation and social responsibility. So it's a very particular type of governing or organizing an institution, but just in order to respond to those principles.
But what I'm wondering is more how the cooperative form of organization responds to particular societal challenges. So my immediate thought is it because there is a lack of democracy? Is it because there is a lack of wish to engage in, how do we make it attractive for people to be engaged in building useful universities that can be useful for our society, and so on and so forth? What kind of problems do you see the cooperative form as responding to that maybe other ways of organizing universities cannot?
Right.
Yeah,
as you've said, I mean, probably there is a lack of cooperation between organization within the organization. Okay, and I would say that particularly cooperative is a particular and a good way to foster cooperation within organization. Cooperation within organization is not unique and exclusive of cooperatives, but I think cooperatives incentive that. Okay. The other factor is the commitment towards the cooperative project, being owners and protagonists, not just the staff and lecturers, but also students. Being owners and participants of the project increases the commitment, and I think there is a lack of commitment in other types, in many types of establishments in our society. And also the need to respond to the actual needs of society. Okay, through the fact that our project needs to be sustainable, and it will be sustainable if we are responding and aligned to the needs of our schools, of our companies, of our public institutions. Okay.
Do you think that, because there's something about the Basque region as such, where cooperative forms of organization is pretty, you see it quite a bit in that area of Spain, and you don't really, could you see this form of organization happening elsewhere? Or does it rely on that kind of contextual economic organization?
Well, there's the usual argument whether that can be replicated in other parts of the world and in other cultures. There's obviously a cultural fact for the emergence of cooperatives. Okay, but the fact that cooperatives are emerging in different countries and different circumstances and different cultures makes me believe that those principles and those values can be extended to everywhere in the world. Okay, so I think they are not exclusive to the reality of the Basque region, I would say.
Do you think that what is the main challenges you see for operating as a cooperative university at this moment?
Well, I would probably see this public-private debate that it's changing, and it's becoming more radical in the last year due to the economic crisis. And I think the fact that there is not a category on a university, and a cooperative university, it's I think one of the issues. Either you are not public or a state-owned university, so the next category is a private university. So you are, cataloged as a private university, and I think in those senses, I think there's this kind of challenge. Being a university and being a cooperative university, there is also I think an increasing demand for quality and accreditation at university level. And being a self-sustained project, I think it's very challenging. It's very challenging to respond to the sustainability, and survival of the university project. respond to the complexity of society and the demands of the society, and again to respond to the demands of the external demands for accreditation and research activity, okay, which is increasing and increasing once.
Okay, I think that our time is unfortunately up, although I have many more questions to ask. Hopefully I'll have a chance to ask those during the next couple of days when we meet.
Let's hope so.
But thank you very much for joining us here today.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Yeah.